Hello guys, welcome back to this loan calculator video. I'm so sorry this video is taking quite longer than I expected it to take, but hopefully we're making progress and we are also learning from everything. So let's dive in immediately and start coding. So what we want to do right now is we want to get the card element of the result. We want to start working on the results. So we want to go back on this results div. We want to get the card element, and we will be using a different kind of selector. We've been using document get elements by ID, the get elements by class name. We will be using the query selector to get the card we're looking for is this card class. It's the Bootstrap class. We will be using it to get the element. Will help us to append the spinner that we saw in the main project. So we do that by calling declare constant, say card equal to document dot query selector and dot card. That's the difference between this and the normal selector. Say dot card and hyphen. You have to include this operator to indicate that it is a class. If it's an ID, you see hashtag like that. If it's just the normal HTML tag, just write the tag name without including any reference or any operator. And so we say get card body, and also we want to get we want to create a loader div. The loader div will be what carries the fancy spinner that we see in the initial equation in the initial project. We give it a comment of create loader div, assign it a variable, a constant of load div, create it to document dot create element. This is how you create a new element from JavaScript into the DOM, and we want to create a div tag, and just like that we have created a div tag in our JavaScript, and we want to assign some attributes to the div tag that we just created. So we say assign attribute. First of all, we want to assign a class attribute, and we do that by adding it as a dot class name. If you want to use class list, it will be slower, so we're just going to use class name to write in every class or the name of the class that we want. So we want to assign it an ID, a class of loader, default class, to pop out the loader div. We click on the create loan button. We want to give it a margin of top, both up and down, bootstrap margin my-2, and also a text center property to center the spinner when it loads up. And then we want to get the spinner class, so we say spinner. So let's create another div that will carry the spinner element. So we're actually going to create two div elements, so we call this one create loader. So this div is actually what contains the spinner. And we'll say document that another create element. I want to create, of course, a div, so just write in div, and we want to set a bunch of attributes to this create loader elements that we just created. First of all, we want to assign some styling, so we say create loader dot style dot width. We want to increase the width of the spinner to 150 pixels, and we want to do that also for the height. So we copy and paste and change this to height And also lastly, we want to assign another attribute, set attribute of dot class name. I want to set it to spinner dash grow, and this is the Bootstrap class that pops out that fancy spinner that we see. And finally, we want to append this create loader div into this load div div, if you understand what I mean. I'm just going to show you. So how we do that is we say writing a comment append load div to spinner, or the other way around. Actually, it's supposed to be append spinner into the load div, just like that. So we say load div dot append child. Want to append the child of create loader, just like that. Everything in create loader is inside of is nested inside of the load div element. And now we can append this load div into this card element, and what it does, it is very syntactical. It appends it just below the create loan button. So writing append load div to DOM, and do that by saying the card element that we got, which is directly from the DOM. Say append child, just like that, and we want to append in the load div elements that we just created using JavaScript, and save. It's not going to show right now. It's not going to show right now, unless, because we still have to come back here. Yes, we still have to go way up right here and initialize the click event for the create loan. So just right here, say click event slash create loan event, and get the create loan button. Say create loan dot add event listener. You want to be listening for a click event, not a submit event. Why? Because someone can actually use the enter button from the keyboard and submit the application and just get a result. But using the click event, the application would work perfectly. And you want to get the create loan function, so we're writing create loan event function, just like that, and save. Hopefully, if we come back here and enter in correct details, and the button is activated, and if we click on it, we see the wonderful spinner. But you have to notice it doesn't out. That's because we have to write another function which displays the result. And the way we do this is that we just here in the create loan event function, we are going to write in another function, the set timeout function, and is a function, a method that comes with JavaScript. So the way we do this is, first of all, let's write the comment set timeout function. So the way we do this, it takes in a callback function and a couple of seconds to run the function or whatever is inside the callback function. So it's writing by saying set timeout. As you can see, Visual Studio Code is already giving us an IntelliSense, so just clicking enter, and it takes in, just like I said, the callback function. I'll be using the arrow function, the callback function, and a couple of seconds. In our case, we want it whatever to happen inside this callback function to happen within the space of 2.5 seconds. That's 2,500 milliseconds. That's what it means. So to convert it to normal seconds, you just say 2,500. So 500 means half a second, 1,000 means 1 second. Hopefully you get the gist. And what will happen inside of this function is actually going to be this display result function. So instead of writing the code inside of this function, we write it here. So we just collect the name, display result, copy it, and paste it right here, so that we will just write the function here into a different function instead of in the same place. So I'm just going to write the formula for simple interest, because that's what we will be using to write the rest of these equations. I'm just gonna fast forward and write it out. And we're back. So this is just the formula for simple interest. It's as best I can define it, where I is simple interest, P is principal, R remains rate, and P and T is the number of time. In our case, we're considering the number of years. So I'm just gonna leave a comment here for you, just in case you go to the GitHub and clone the folder. So first of all, we would want to get, using the document.query selector, again we want to get the loader class, which is this loader class that we created here, this div. We want to get it, and what we want to do with it is that we want to remove it. So we want to remove, first of all, remove the loader. So we say document dot query selector. We're looking for the loader class, and just right there we call a remove a method in JavaScript which removes any HTML elements inside of the DOM. And after that, we want to declare or get some values which we defined up here. We want to get these three values: principal, interest, and duration. We want to assign them to some variables. So we say the declaring variables consts loan amount, say principal copy, that's better, dot value. And we want to do this 2 more times. This time we'll be looking for loan rate, and in the loan rate we are looking at the interest, and also the loan years, which identifies the number of years for the loan to be paid back. Enter. And we're almost done. Now we can start our calculations using, of course, the principle stated above in the comment. Calculations. So we want to get total int, which is this constant that we declared up here, identify the total interest, where we would record the total interest. So we say dot value, set the value of the total interest to, first of all, using a bracket, set it to loan amount multiplied by 1 plus. What I'm doing might be really confusing right now, but you can just write it out. It's just the normal way to write it. So we'll say loan rate. It's actually supposed to be loan rate multiplied by loan years, and skip a bracket, divided by 100, and finally, before you think I'm just gonna run right now. Loan amount. You want to calculate the simple interest, so this is the formula for the simple interest. Say principal, which is loan amount, multiplied by this bracket plus 1 plus in open bracket times the loan rate, which is this, times the loan years, which is t, divided by 100. And of course you minus it from the initial loan amount, which will give you the total interest. So you just minus it and you get the total loan amount. I don't know if you understand, hopefully you do. And then of course the total pay, this is equal to, using the parenthesis again, it's a number dot loan amount. Number there, you just convert the loan amount to a number plus number. You might be wondering why I didn't use it in the other ones. And then total int. This is the total int value. Int dot value. We want to get that to a fixed positioning of 2. So to fixed. So this converts it to a fixed position where the last digit is converted to a fixed decimal of 2 moves from 0, and we want to also do that on total int so that we don't get a really long decimal value. And lastly, we want to get the month pay. So month pay dot value equals, open bracket again, total pay dot value divided by 12 dot to fixed. So month pay, for each month the person has to pay a certain amount, so the 12 represents the 12 months that we have in a year. So for each month, divide the total pay by 12, and that will represent that. So lastly, after that, we would want to finally show the result div. So this would show result div. If we don't write this, everything that we have written so far will not be seen. So get the result div code and say dot style dot display equal to block, and save. And before our program forgot to do one wonderful thing. Just on the create loan function, we want to set this result div to none, and I'll just show you the reason right away. So let's test this application once again. Set everything okay. Spin for 2.5 seconds and shows us the result. So if peradventure we enter in a different value, say 1, and click, you see the spinner loads beneath. So you want to display and remove this we want to remove this show result div immediately each time we click on this button. So we come back here, just on top of this create loan event, we would set this to none. Say remove result div, save, And let's write out that out again and save. Within 2.5 seconds we have our results. If we click again, just like that, just creates a really cool feeling when you do all this. Of course, if you empty it, the button is unclickable. If you're writing an error, it's unclickable. And this is just it for this application. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and as usual, smiles.